Welcome to The Tackle. Is it going to be the last one of the year? Well, it's going to be the best one so far. It is grand final week, and with me as always is the former Fremantle captain Sean McManus, sporting his Fremantle jumper this week.
Utah Saints #1, everybody. God, it's been a great year for the Fremantle fans. Joel, it's not quite the same for Adelaide friends like yourself.
Oh, let's forget about my team. I always give them a dirty mention because we like having a laugh about it. It is about the Dockers this week, Sean. Your team got into its first ever grand final. The streets of Fremantle were lit up with purple. Some of the footage and some of the photos that have been sent up for that was really quite emotional, even for non-Freo supporters like myself.
Yeah, was able to go through the heart of Fremantle on Saturday night after the game about 10:30, and it was going bananas. To get your car through was absolutely impossible. Took us a hell of a long time. The people were really partying in the middle of the Cappuccino Strip there, and I can tell you, if they get the bickies on Saturday night, that place will shut down pretty much.
Now, we were watching the game at a pub on TV, and I saw your face pop up in the change rooms after. You got to have a quick chat with Ross Lyon and Matty Pavlich. What was the emotions like? I mean, Ross is pretty good at keeping them sort of level-headed, even though they've just had the biggest win of the club's history. But what were the rooms like after the game?
Not too bad. There was a lot of family and friends that were more up and about a bit more up and about than some of the players, to be perfectly honest. I mean, the guys were knackered. I think the realisation will happen this week when they hit the training track and everybody's up and about again and the crowd are down there, which is an open training session this week, Tuesday, tomorrow, in fact. So that will start to hit them then. I can say about Ross, I asked him, I didn't want to focus on the fact that he was able to take the club to the grand final this year. I was more wanting to talk to him about the fact that he's been unbelievably successful. And every time I threw a question at him about, surely you must be satisfied the way you're going personally, because in the time he's been coach, he's been in 5 prelim finals in 7 years, and he's going to play in his 4th grand final in 7 years, which is unbelievable stats. Yeah. Straight away, he goes back to the team, what we need to do. It's not about him, it's about the individuals. There's one game to go, we've got to get it right, blah, blah, blah. It's about winning. We'd
love to get some audio of the people that were having chats to Talkback Radio after Ross Lyon was brought in and Mark Harvey was moved on. That was an emotional time for the club, but I mean, let's not bring that up. But how about the grand final this week? You're going to be playing against the Hawthorn Hawks for a good couple of minutes there, I reckon. We all thought it was going to be the Geelong Cats. It should have been. At 3/4 time, I thought it was game over.
It seemed that way, and I've got to feel sorry for Hawthorn. At one position, I thought the game was gone. Cyril Rioli wasn't paid a mark in the forward line for Hawthorn. That was in the 3rd quarter. Geelong were able to race the ball up and kick a goal, and you thought, well, that's it. They are gone. The Kennett curse lives on for another year or so. But they were able to get a bit of neutral territory somewhere in the middle of the 4th quarter, and then the momentum swung, and you can see that. And they just been able to pep away and kick a few goals. But Travis Barco from Geelong, how do you reckon he's been feeling today, Mad Monday for Geelong?
He'd be feeling awful, but I said this to someone on the weekend, actually. He kicked, I think, 3 goals in the 1st quarter or something against Collingwood in that 2011 grand final. So he was one of the key cogs in winning them a premiership that year. He was not the main...
He wasn't the fall guy.
He wasn't. It was a team effort, and the guys were 20 points up. They couldn't hold on. It wasn't just Travis Varco that lost in that game, but hey, that game's done and dusted now. We move on to the grand final. How do you think your boys are going to go this weekend?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because you've got a highly skilled team like Hawthorn who kick the ball around. They like to possess it through the back line, and they use their foot skills. That's what they're good at. That's what they try to do. Create space, hit the free player. Fremantle bring the intensity of their defensive pressure, which we saw on Saturday night against Sydney. 2 contrasting styles. Now, if you were to say in the big games, what style of football would you pick to play in a grand final? I'm pretty sure you'd want to play the defensive team who comes in, tackles, crash, bang, rather than the other team who might finesse. So, God, it's going to be hard to beat Hawthorn, but I think Fremantle's game style is the only team who can beat Hawthorn. 2
very different teams when you look at it, and the fact that Fremantle are playing for their first premiership and they'll have the hunger. I think Hawthorn are more playing... is not so much dignity, but I mean, they should have won maybe a couple more flags than what they've had since 2008. So if they don't win this year, there's some big questions that are going to be asked about that football club. So I think there'll be a few extra nerves for Hawthorn, whereas Freo, I think it's just all about going out there and having a slog.
Yeah, certainly embracing it. Ross did say there's everything to lose, because some people say you need to throw the bat at it because there's nothing to lose. You're in the grand final. Well, yeah, there is. It's the cup.
Yeah.
So it's pretty serious stuff. Hawthorn, if they start getting shaky at some stage, I'm sure they'll be thinking about last year, Joel, like you're alluding to, when they went down to Sydney Swans. The other thing is they reckon that Alistair Clarkson, if that Hawthorn lose, Alistair Clarkson will be out of there. He'll either get... he'll get offered the job at Brisbane and certainly West Coast. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Oh, it's an exciting week coming up. We cannot wait. Best of luck to the Fremantle Dockers and all the supporters who've waited 19 years for this weekend. Mate, and best of luck to you. You're, of course, going to be there. And if Fremantle win the premiership this weekend, we've tipped it. You probably won't be coming back for quite a while. Anyway.
I won't be coming back.
Month footy season trip for him. You going to tell Megan about that?
Just maybe a letter just under the pillow as I walk out for the last time on Wednesday.
A quick text message. Also want to say a big congratulations as far as local footy is concerned. The Waffle Grand Final was over the weekend. The West Perth Falcons got up their first flag since, I think, the early 2000s.
It was early 2000s, yes. The Garlic Munchers, as we like to call them. I didn't think they'll get over the top of the Royals because East Perth have got all the West Coast Eagles players playing for them and have been doing a sterling job in this finals. Got them to the grand final, obviously. 20-odd thousand people turn up on a terrible day at Subiaco. Congratulations to the Falcons supporters. Well done.
Well done, guys. And we'll be back next week with a full wrap-up of how the grand final went. And hopefully this man is sitting next to me at some stage next week holding the Premiership Cup. We'll see you then. Nova.